Okay, so this is a quick tutorial on how to write a referral agreement. So whether you are referring a deal to another agent, so you are the originating broker and you're sending this to another agent somewhere else. For instance, if you have a buyer in California and you're in Florida and you're going to send it to another agent and receive a referral fee, you're the originating broker there. Or if you're receiving, right? If some agent in California, let's say you're in Florida and they're in California and they're sending over a buyer or seller to you, and you're going to be giving them a referral fee. And that particular case, you would be the receiving broker, right? You're receiving the client, right? And then you're going to be paying that back to them. So here's how it works. Okay. So if you're the originating broker, meaning the person that had the client originally and is passing it off to another agent, then this is where you put your information. You're going to put your brokerage here. You're going to put your name here. You're going to put your address, your brokerage address here, your phone number, and your email address if you're the originating broker. The receiving broker will be the broker that is receiving your client, right? So you're sending that client to them and they're the receiving broker. Okay. So you're going to put their information in here, their name, their office address. You're going to get all that information from them, their email address, everything. So you'll go ahead and fill this all out completely, these first two sections. Okay. Now, if they're the originating broker, they're most likely going to be sending you this, right? So they're going to be sending you this information because they're the one with the client, right? But if you're the originating broker and you're sending this over to them, or if for some reason you're also dealing with somebody else at EXP and they're asking you to fill it out, then maybe you might be the receiving broker in that situation. But the main thing is that no matter what referral agreement you get, these are the things that are going to be stated. Who's the originating broker? Who's the receiving broker? And then the information of the client, right? So the client is buying or selling. You'll check one of those, right? And then you'll put the name of the client, client's address. That's not necessarily mandatory, but just as long as their name is in there, their phone number, their email address, you should be good to go as far as the client's information, but always good to be thorough and put their address in there as well. Okay, so now let's get to the payment section. So receiving brokerage, right? The person you sent the client to, okay, is agreeing to pay you a certain referral fee. So receiving broker agrees to pay the originating broker, the person who originally had the client, a referral fee of blank percent. Okay, so on a buying, if you send somebody a buyer, right? If you're the originating broker, you send somebody a buyer, typically 25% is pretty standard for a buyer. Okay, now if you're sending them over a listing, you can usually get more for that. 30%, maybe 35, maybe 40, depending on how aggressive you want to be, how big the deal is. Why? Because listings, a couple of things. With listings, they're going to get basically a guaranteed deal, right? When you send somebody a buyer, the buyer may never buy. The buyer might be looking for properties forever, and they might never find one. And just, it's a lot of work, and you can only pretty much one side that deal. Where as a listing agent, you got pretty much a guaranteed deal, right? You got a listing agreement with that client. You're going to get at least your 3%. You can double end the deal as well. And listings tend to have babies, meaning listings tend to get you more deals, right? So with the open houses and different things like that. So it's very important that that you understand the difference between those. So 25% if you're sending them a buyer, at least 30%, I would say, if you're sending somebody a listing, potentially more, 35, 40%. I've seen all that. So up to your discretion, up to you what you want to do there. Okay. So here it says you're going to give a referral fee of, blank percent of the listing, the buying. I like total, total covers both sides, right? So whatever the total commission is that the agent you sent to is going to get, you're going to get that percentage. So I usually put total commission paid to the brokerage, right? So for instance, if you were to send them a listing and they double-sided it, then you're going to get the percentage of the total commission they got instead of putting just the listing side. So what if they had a listing, right, and they got a full 6% because they double-sided it? Well, only one side is the listing side at 3% and the other side is the buying side. If you would have just clicked this, you would have only gotten X percentage of the listing side. So I like total commission here. Or you could do a flat rate here as a dollar amount, depending on what you negotiated, okay? The referral fee shall be paid to the originating brokerage within X amount of days. So after it closes, how many days are you giving them? I usually put like 10 days in here. It's arbitrary. You can put 7 days, 3 days, whatever you want to do. I just, 7 to 10 days is standard. This referral agreement is valid for how many transactions? So this is important. So is this just for this one particular transaction, or is it valid for multiple transactions after that, right? So, maybe you give them a listing and the person still needs to, buy a property or whatever the case may be. You decide. But if it's just for that transaction, just put for that one transaction, or you can put more there. Just depending on the situation, right? So if it's just this one transaction, just put one. If you know that there's going to be multiple, then maybe you put 2 or 3, depending on what they're looking for, right? Okay, so next is receiving agent agrees to notify originating agent of client entering into contract within 5 days of contract acceptance and estimated closing days. So this basically says, hey, you got to let me know whether you put on another contract. You got 5 days to let me know, hey, I got this person under contract. Okay. And then right here is where you put how long this agreement will be for. So, how long are you giving them to find your client a property or to sell the property? I usually put at least 6 months. I put 12 months before. Look, at the end of the day, it's however long it takes to send to the client, right? So, don't be scared to put a year in here that, hey, look, it might take them a while to find a property, but I still sent to the client, right? So I'm not scared to put a year here, but at least 6 months I would put. Here in the signature section, very important. So if you're the originating agent, you're going to want to obviously sign here, and then you have your broker sign. If you're sending it to the EXP broker, it's FL.sign at exprealty.net. That's how you get our broker to sign documents. So you send them an electronic signing to FL.sign at exprealty.net. That's how you get our broker to sign it. Now, if by chance you're sending this over to another EXP agent, then you could probably send the electronic signing and have them sign both sides of this agreement. But the other agent will also have to sign, so make sure you send them the electronic signature. But let's say they're not with EXP, they're with another brokerage, no problem. Just get your side signed, right? So go ahead and get your signature and our broker signature. Once that's done, you send it over to them so that they can sign it and their broker can sign it. Okay, so that's the deal with referral agreements, and that should cover everything there.